Greetings. One of the things that the Bible has to say that unbelievers don't really care for is when the Bible talks about wives submitting to their husbands. I've even heard some Christians try to soften this teaching a bit. In fact, at my church, many years ago, we had a guest speaker who said that, the Bible does say that wives should submit to their husbands, but the Bible never says that they have to obey their husbands. Well, there's a couple of problems with that statement. First of all, to submit to someone implies that you're doing what they tell you to do. In other words, it implies that you're obeying them. Secondly, the Bible does say that wives are to obey their husbands. Titus chapter 2, verses 3 through 5 says that women are to be obedient to their own husbands. 1 Peter 3, verse 6 talks about how Sarah obeyed her husband Abraham and how wives should follow Sarah's example. Now, of course, no husband has absolute authority over his wife. He also has to submit to a higher authority, and that higher authority is God. And God doesn't want him tyrannizing his wife. But anyway, how then does a husband make his wife submit? Can he use force? Can he use force to keep his wife in line? Well, let's think about this. In many religions and in many cultures throughout history, it was perfectly fine for a husband to beat his wife if she behaved in a way that he didn't approve of. But just because other ancient cultures believe that, does that mean that that's what the Bible teaches? Well, the Bible does say that parents, for example, can use corporal punishment as a way to discipline children. The Bible has given the government the right to use force against some bad behavior. So what punishment does the Bible say a husband can give to an unruly wife? What is a husband allowed to do to keep his wife in line? The answer is nothing. The Bible does not give any authority to the husband to punish his wife's bad behavior. Now, God may punish a wife who is being just a total witch to her husband, but that's another story for another video. Well, how about some other means? Can a husband use psychological manipulation to keep his wife in line? Nope. Again, there's no biblical warrant for that either. So then, how does a man make his wife submit? The answer is actually found in some of those very same passages that talk about wives submitting to their husbands. For example, in Ephesians chapter 5, it does say, wives, submit to your husbands, but then in verse 25, it says, husbands, love your wives. Colossians chapter 3, verse 19 also says, husbands, love your wives, and it goes on to say, and don't act bitterly toward them. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7 says, husbands, dwell with your wives with understanding and treat them with honor. So how do you make your wife obey? Love her. Love her like crazy. Love her till she cries. Tears of joy, of course. God has made marriage in such a way that the husband is the head of his wife. But God never gives the husband the authority to exercise that headship by force or by manipulation. He has to love his wife because a wife's submission is voluntary, meaning the husband can't force her to submit. Furthermore, the Bible implies that a man who doesn't treat his wife well is, kind of a dummy. In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4, it says that a virtuous wife is a crown to her husband. How are you treating your crown? What kind of dummy would beat up his own crown, trample it, and treat it like garbage? That would be a dumb man indeed. No, the way that a man exercises authority in marriage is through love. Now, ladies, please don't take any of this as me saying that you have the right to do whatever you want, or that you can treat your husband badly. There are also a lot of verses in the book of Proverbs that have nothing but bad things to say about a wife who's being quarrelsome with her husband. Just like a man shouldn't be a dummy in the way he treats his wife, wives shouldn't be dummies either in the way that they treat their husband. So, wives, submit to your husbands. And husbands, love your wives. Till next time, keep it contramundum in your marriage, and we'll see you later.